Welcome to the weekly shir of the Zera Shimshon, Zecher Tzadik V'Kodesh L'Vracha. It's Zayin Tammuz, Tafshin Pei, and I'm going to do a capital test this week from Parshat Korach. Al Hai de Amina B'Yushalmi, Gemara and Peah, and Perek Aleph Halacha Aleph. It says, Muter Loimar Lashon Hora al Baalei Machlekes. It is permitted to say Lashon Hora on people that are constantly arguing about with one another or with other people. Tzorech tam lamakach. Why is that true? Why is it permitted to say Lashon Hora? Why is it permitted to say Lashon Hora about anybody? We can't even say about a goy unless it's really a Rosh Gomer. And why about a Jew? Just because he's about machlekes. Just because he's doing a sin or sins, that's why it's a nisa deraisa according to the Paiskim. So said Reb Shmuel Homer. And so why should we, just because he's doing a sin, so that everybody does a sin is permitted to speak about him? Why dafka machlekes? L'saper lashon hora ima misaper lashon hora anshe chamor Yosef v'shleish averos. If the seriousness of Lashon Hora is that it's worse than the three big averas, Gil Arayis, Svichas Damim, and Haveda Zara, then it's Kehila Kaifer Baker, and it's like he's denying the God. Anybody who learned the Sefer Chavetz Chaim, and I highly recommend it, at least once, if not many times, go through it, because there's a lot of details that people don't even pay attention to. So how come it's permitted to speak Lashon Hora about Baal Machlekes? L'chayra haya nira l'taretz imay de amina b'Yushalmi the pair. Okay, we can add a conclusion over there. What it says in the Yushalmi, shamisaper lashon hora misalik shechina malmayla. If a person speaks lashon hora, it removes or elevates the shechina from above us. It removes it in a certain way up. V'chein David shara ma'aseh dayeg v'azifim. When David HaMelech saw the story of Doeg, that he spoke to Lashon Hora, to Shaul, and the Zifim spoke Lashon Hora about David. Oymar, he said, Ruma ala shamayim kvodecha. God's glory has gone upstairs. It's not down on earth the way it used to be. So if it's removed, the Shechina between us, because Shechina cannot dwell amongst people that are having anger or hatred for one another, or competition. Too much competition is no good either. Only the Shechina can dwell amongst those who have peace and love for one another. Since this person that has this bad midah of arguing with everybody, so the Shechina is not with him, unfortunately, and he causes it to be removed from Klal Yisrael. It's muter loimer lashon hora, so therefore it's permitted to speak Lashon Hora about him. Lashon Hora zeh lo yigraim siluk shechina, because this Lashon Hora you're saying will not remove the shechina any more than he already removed it. Shekvar siluko aimedes, because it's already removed. Aval mikomakam adayin lo yatzanu yadeich ayvasena. But good, that's an interesting teretz, but that's not sufficient. She'im mi'alav nistalka shechina, but if from him, because he's the Baal Machlekes and he was removed the holy presence of the shechina from him, but what about us? The shechina lo nistalka mi'aleinu, it didn't get removed from us. We're still Klal Yisrael. How could we remove from Lashon Hora? It's bishalo b'sifurenu sipurenu nigraim pagam lenafshenu chasam. it actually causes a pagam in our own souls and removes the Shechina from us. So, we need a different teretz. They say it's because what they said in the Gemara in the Yerushalmi Peah, Azhara l'Lashon Hora minayin. Where is the warning in the Torah for Lashon Hora? It says, Lo yseilech rachel be'amecha. Oh, be'oise maise amecha. It's somebody who's doing the deeds of your people, keeping the Torah mitzvahs. V'davka b'mi she'oise maise amecha asur lacha leimer Lashon Hora. That's only, and Mishnah Berurah mentions that many times. Many times it says that only somebody who's doing the will, the deeds that are pleasing to God. But somebody that's not doing the will of Hashem, it's permitted to speak Lashon Hora about him. A prince among your people, and prince is only a prince, it means one of the Talmidei Chachamim amongst your people, do not curse. But that is only if he's doing deeds that are concomitant with those people that we live amongst, which is the Jews. Oh, but the only problem is then this applies to all of eras. If a person is eating treif, and you see him eating treif, if they have a kiddush with shrimp, okay, so you can talk Lashon Hora about him. There's nothing Yisur about that. You can try to convince people not to go there for the kiddush. Okay, so what about other averas then? The real reason is he could speak as Lashon Hora about this guy, but he is instigating hatred and arguments between people who love with one another, friends. And he's called a person that hates. In the Lashon of the Tehillim, he hates peace. So, because if he's argumentative all the time with everybody, and he specifically picks out ideas that are controversial, we'll call it, and expresses his opinion in public, so he hates peace. So therefore it's not fitting for him to be sitting in peace. The Chesiv, it says in Yeshaya, Ein shalom omar Hashem l'rashayim. There's no peace for the wicked, because they're always seeking some kind of argument or disagreements. Therefore, in order for him not to sit in peace and quiet and be placid, so that it gets permitted to speak Lashon Hora, and people should learn to hate him. You don't want to be part of that group. So in the midah that the person measures out for himself, they measure out to him from heaven. So midah keneged midah. Now the segula for this week is very interesting. I could tell you a story that I won't say who it was, but this week somebody got engaged. I was saying the Zera Shimshon for him as a segula because he refused, and he got engaged, 32 years old. So it's amazing. I didn't even do it. It was indirectly because I know very closely the family, and he refused to learn the Shimshon because he doesn't believe in skulas. So much for not believing. You could not believe in God, and God is still there anyway. So, but the Zera Shimshon skulas really work. Here's another one. Okay, we are not finished yet. If banding together for the purpose of machlekes is so dangerous for the entire nation, then the converse must be true as well. When we get together with the goal of uplifting others, ourselves, and accomplishing something that will make Hashem happy, our strength is magnified. Consider the following letter that was sent by Rabbi Yisrael Silberberg, sent to Rabbi Yisrael Silberberg. Dear Rabbi Yisrael, I make it my business to spend time with many older unmarried Bachrim in one of the Hasidic yeshivas in Bnei Brak. I hang out with the Bachrim. These are older boys whose friends are all married and have children. I learn with them and listen to their stories and challenges. These are good Bachrim. They probably used to learn more than in their younger years, but they are still Bachrim with a desire to grow in Torah and Avodas Hashem, and I do my best to give them positive attention. I'm there for them when they need me. If they want to talk to me, I make time to listen. If they want to unburden themselves, I give them a listening ear and a shoulder to cry on. These Bachrim who have been in the Parshat for so long that they have been already removed from the Shadchanim's lists. Removed. Oh, that's pretty bad. So they were replaced by younger boys, and life is not easy for them. One day I had the idea of starting a shir in Zera Shimshon specifically for these boys. This was important for two reasons. Number one, it would ensure that they had an ongoing learning seder. Number two, the sefer is a well-known segula, and I would be able to convince them that learning it would be a worthwhile investment of their time. We decided that this shir should take place every Thursday night. I didn't have enough seforim for all of them, so I used the weekly newsletters, Zera Shimshon, that you put out instead. Zilberberg puts that out. So we began studying together in Parshat Chayesar. There were 7 Bachrim in the group, all learning from your weekly Torah page. Right away, the Bachrim connected with the Torah that you wrote. The Vertlach was short and to the point, and they liked the broad range of ideas that were presented. And so it went for a couple of months. When we reached Parshat Shmais, some of the Bachrim approached me and said, listen, we've been learning the Sefer for a while already with no results to show for it. I had told them that we needed to continue learning the Sefer, that Gedolim are greater after they pass away than during their lives, and that if Rabbi Shimshon Chaim made such a clear promise, that there must be something to them. In the end, they agreed to stick to the shir. At that month, 4 of the 7 Bachrim got engaged. One of them considerably older than the rest. Of course, this turn of events was a tremendous simcha for everybody involved. I just want to add one last point. At the time that I started the shir for the boys, I was about to marry off my own son, and one of my kavanas when I established that shir was that it should serve as a merit for me, and in the sense that I should be able to marry him off without going into major debt. In all honesty, I was never a shadchan in my life, but for 3 of the 4 boys who got engaged, I was the one who made the shidduch. And the money I earned as a shadchan went a long way to helping me cover the wedding expenses. So there was no doubt in my mind that the schus of the Zera Shimshon was helping me when I and the Bachrim needed. Of course, once the word got out about this unexpected turn of events, really, who never imagined that 4 alter Bachrim would get engaged in 1 month, right? Our shir became even more popular than it had previously been. Okay, that's sincerely a rabbi. His name is Lowenbrau. It's not a Lowenbrau. It's a pseudonym. Anyway, have a good tavarch, and we're blessed with a lot of good news and good tidings. Even every month has its blessings. Even Tammuz and Av. They will turn to be Bez Hashem, B'Sasai, B'Simcha, B'Karev.